Well, thank you for still being with us as this morning on ITV, and we're looking at the need for us to extend frontiers to having more democratic principles being established in Edo State as we look at the party primaries coming up ahead. And of course, you understand that the political parties are already gearing up to make sure that they throw up, standard flag bearers on that point where we can say political parties are already working towards in making sure that the September polls become a reality. And today, like I said, we're going to be looking at Edo Guba 2024 and the intrigues and the jostle for Osadebe Avenue. And I had the party primaries. Discussing this with me in the studio, I have the publicity secretary of the Labour Party, Edo State Chapter, Samuel Orupa. Thanks for joining me, Sam.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Good morning.
And of course, I have a public affairs analyst, a social media influencer, joining us via Zoom from Texas, Houston, United States. And he's Ahmed Mamadou. Good morning to you, Ahmed.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, viewers. Yeah. Thank you for having me on board.
I know I have to take a whole lot of time for you to get on this, and I must say thank you for giving yourself some time away from your bed to be part of this conversation. I know what that is like.
Yes.
So I'm supposed also expecting someone from a representative from the People's Democratic Party, and unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, is unable to be part of this conversation. But quickly, let's get it started as we look at issues surrounding the Edo Guba 2024. And I start with you, Samuel Orupa. There are a whole lot that is happening, looking at the need for us to have a healthy, party primaries. We need to set in the motion for us to have an internal democracy within political parties. I look at all, even in the front line, the PDP, the APC, even the Labour Party seem to be having some form of crisis or whatever. Now, what do you make of this as we gradually get to the party primaries? Do you see this as a healthy development in our political dispensation?
Yes, okay. Thank you, viewers at home. I want to thank you, Philip. Thank you. I want to appreciate the good work of ITV in educating the public on the need to know what is happening on a daily basis. I won't say that, of course, the jostling for the Osadebe Avenue is, as usual, politicking has begun. Intra-party politics has hit the airway. But I must tell you precisely, in terms of the crisis you mentioned, maybe there might be crisis. I wouldn't want to speak for these other parties because their representatives are not here. But for the Labour Party, there is no crisis because of the internal mechanism and the processes that is leading to the primary that we are adopting to the primary, which is the people-oriented process. People themselves, not even party officials or super or ad hoc delegate, but the people themselves at the grassroots, the ordinary card-carrying members are going to be part of the process in electing the ward and local government delegates who will in turn elect the party flag bearer. And so this is a whole lot of democratic opening for party members. And so there is no room for crisis in the Labour Party, and there is none. Of course, in some other parties, I think maybe there might be some outcry here and there, but that is for them. I can tell you authoritatively, Labour Party is getting it right and the best candidate for Edo people, because the business for governance in Edo State needs serious attention. And for the fact that the people have not been getting it fairly over the years for the past administrations. And so that is what Labour Party has come to salvage the situation, to redeem the state.
At the early start of the intrusion of Labour Party into politics as a registered political party. There was this a whole lot of expectations that being the name Labour Party, it will be friendly in terms of the prices of nomination and interest forms. And of course, all the operations, I can see smiles playing on your face when I mentioned that, because a lot of persons are saying, because we read the news stories and we see Labour Party losing some of its members because of the increase in nomination and interest form. What informed that? Because a situation where you now join the others in demanding huge amount of money, like 30 million naira, it seems a huge amount. Do you seem to, can you give us your thoughts on this change, on the reason for this?
Thank you. I don't think any of our aspirants has left the party on the basis of forms. That is not true. On the basis of the prices of our nomination form, that is not true. Of course, aspiration is normal. It's a human thing. It's a human desire for anybody to aspire. In this contest, as a political party, or in this political contest, the intending aspirants, those that were entitled, people call aspirants, we're all intending aspirants. They were never in the real sense aspirants. Aspirants are those who bought the expression of interest and nomination form of a political party are the aspirants. Every other person that was indicating interest or making their intentions known, we're all intending aspirants.
So you want to draw a line between the pretenders and the contenders?
No, anyway, that is not my language. If you choose to, but that is not my voice. But I'm just telling you the real contest in which we should situate this.
Okay.
The aspirant and the intending aspirant.
Okay.
You can get up and say, I want to aspire. You can approach the party, make your intentions known. I will want to go. I will want to make use of your platform. You are welcome, sir. That has not made you an aspirant. You are only an intending aspirant. But on the point where where you're able to buy the form and go through the necessary, you become an aspirant of the party.
All right.
Now, come to the issue of the prices of form. Comparatively, I can tell you, the Labour Party form is on the lower side. And you ask whether being a people-oriented and people-friendly party, why is it so? Of course, the policies and program, the political ideology of the party is still tailored on the people's side. We cannot take that away. The issue of prices of form is not a yardstick to judge. Of course, the processes that APC want to go through, PDP want to go through in running their primaries and elections, is the same process Labour Party want to go through. I don't know the logistics.
So funds are needed, that's what you mean?
Excuse me.
Funds are needed.
Of course, no, I'm coming. The logistic costs or whatever that parties are going to go through to execute their programs and whatever, it's the same thing. Labour Party is not in a different climb. Of course, it is a system that has been bastardized and
I get your point. The Labour Party is not in isolation of all of the operations of governance as we have it here in Nigeria.
Yes.
So whatever happens, whatever policy of government, it also affects the party. After all, you all go to the same market. And you also access the same filling stations.
You get me correct. Now, the point I made, I said comparatively.
Okay.
The prices of our form for the female is 15 million slash 50%.
Okay.
Now, APC is in the neighborhood of 50 million. What do you say about that?
Okay, I'll come back.
Sorry,
I'll come back to you.
PDP,
You've articulated the point.
PDP is in the neighborhood of 35 to 40 million.
That's not the main question anyways.
No,
I just asked you that.
I'm so telling
so that
you
we can have a
people,
nexus to the already interacting questions on the ground.
People friendly.
But I'll come back to
we
you.
Are still, that's why I'm giving you this now.
Okay.
How we are still people friendly.
All right.
On the side, on the lower side.
You say that when I come back to you, the pendulum will basically swing back to you. Let's get to you, Ahmed Momodu. Now, you've been in Nigeria before you went to America, Texas, Houston, where you reside at present. And you followed politics, even though you are in America, you even follow politics more than some of us here in Nigeria. And you've seen how internal democracy, can key into, integration of party membership, integration of the programs of a party. Now, a situation where, for instance, the All Progressives Congress reports also in the news, having this challenge where some members are being disqualified, even when they've not even done the party primaries, all in the name of reducing, the size. And again, there seems to be this godfatherism factor that some have already reported, by the former Edo State Governor, Adams Oshomole, who is now a senator, and this again seemed not to augur well. As alleged. Thank you. This again seemed not to augur well, in the stream of politics for the All Progressives Congress. What are your thoughts?
So that's a very good question, Philip. To be honest, I was disappointed when I read that the Edo State chapter of the APC was going to do something that was entirely unknown to the laws of the APC, the party that we all subscribe to, in the guise of screening down the number of aspirants. I think that wasn't the best thing to do under the circumstance, because everybody's entitled to his aspiration. And the screening down comes at the point of the purchase of those forms, the purchase of the interest form and the expression of interest form and the other form, I forget the name at the moment. So there was absolutely no need for that. At this point where we've come to now, we found out that even through natural selection, without that process, the 29 aspirants have weeded themselves out to 12. So I do not see the need for that exercise. Now, as to the allegation that Comrade Oshomole was somehow trying to skew it in favor of one aspirant, I don't think that's founded, because he came out himself in an interview about 2 days ago and made his points clear that this was an agreement that was reached chapter and all of the aspirants to sort of kind of manage the field so that we will not have too many voices shouting in the dark. And I think it was a noble intention to try and save rancor, because when you have so many contending forces and it's not properly managed, at the end of the exercise you will have a lot of bad blood, and that bad blood leading to an election will probably fracture the party. So on the one hand, it was a good idea. On the other hand, since it was a novel idea and it has led to this kind of confusion, I think we should have handled it a little bit differently. So let me also share my thoughts on why there's so many aspirants in all of these parties today. If you notice, because of the way the electoral processes have been clearing backwards, when I say backwards, I'm saying from the voting side, the courts have taken care of a lot of gray areas. So now, if you are not a member of the party, you cannot sue a party and be an interloper, as the court has interpreted it. Now, there are other things the court has made clear. There must be voting by BVN, etc., etc. So gradually, the focus is now coming to the party structure itself. How are the aspirants chosen, and how are they pushed forward, and what can happen to streamline that process? So politicians being what they are, seeing that the other avenues for, let me call it, mago have been closed, they are now resorting to trying to get in from the front door, and the front door is through the party primaries. And that is, I think, what you see in this expression of 29 people. The 29 people were not aspirants. The 29 people were only people, I'm speaking in particular of the APC now, were only people who said we are interested in this process. Now, the aspirants are the ones who have bought the forms, and I believe as of today, that's 12 of them, and that's where we are.
Okay, let's look at the allegations. Because we also been mentioned of the fact that there seem to be allegations that the former governor has an anointed candidate, for the party. And being that as it is, there are also issues coming up that this could also not mean well for the party. What are your thoughts?
I agree. If the former governor, in the person of Comrade Adams Oshomole, has an anointed candidate, we've seen how that has played out when he anointed the present governor. We've seen the relationship that comes out of all this anointing, and I believe that the comrade has learned his lesson from that. So I do not want to believe that he's going to try and anoint somebody else. But let us play devil's advocate just for the sake of this argument. Now, he came out 2 days ago on channels and said, look, as far as he is concerned, his only holdback is that since the current minister, the only serving minister from Edo State, is currently from Edo North Senatorial District, he is not in support of any candidates, the candidates from Edo North running their brothers in Edo Central and Edo South, for the simple reason that it will seem as if the Edo North is trying to muscle all of the appointments and positions at the top echelon of the party, which would not go down well with our brothers in Central and in South. It's a very valid argument. Now, how does that play out to say he's anointing somebody? Anybody can interpret whatever message, whatever he has said, to mean whatever they want it to mean. But he came out to say, this is the reason why I have done this. So if we stretch that argument a little bit and say he has anointed somebody, at the end of his conversation on that channel, he said the screening committee reduced to 6 and subsequently to 4. What does that mean? The last 4 that were there are 2 from Edo Central and 2 from Edo South. So the assumption will be that one of those 4 candidates is an anointed candidate. The Shehu went ahead and asked him and said, okay, of these people, who is it that you are going to vote for? He came out and said, look, I can only vote for one person at a time. I don't have the power of incumbency. I'm not the current governor. I don't have all these excessive powers. At the end of the day, it's one man, one vote. And over time, I think Nigerians have come to realize that their vote is very powerful. And in truth, the comrade governor, former governor, only has one vote. He can only use the power of moral suasion to ask other people to support whoever it is that he's interested in. But again, I would advise that there shouldn't be any untoward pressure to put anybody forward as an anointed candidate. We've seen how this has played out in Edo State. We've seen how it has played out in Lagos State. We've seen how it has played out all over the country. We don't need that again. Edo people have suffered too much in mismanagement. We need to be moving forward now.
Thank you. I'll come back to you, but let's quickly draw a nexus between the discussion we're having with the Publicity Secretary, Labour Party, Edo State Chapter, Samuel Orukpa, and of course that of the Public Affairs and Political Analyst in America, Texas Austin, Ahmed Momodu. Let's quickly get to the Labour Party's determination. You know, in every political party, there's always this determination that they will win the elections. And now we knew what transpired in the general elections of 2023, you know, where the flag bearer of your party, Peter Obi, lost, and even in the court. And what gives you the drive, or what gives your party the ambition, that drive, that spirit, that belief that you could do something and change the dynamics in Edo State come September polls?
It's okay. Thank you for that question. You see, good men does not need to go and sleep, because the bad men are holding sway. We keep push to ensure that the right thing is done and Nigeria come back to normalcy.
When you say bad men, it's relative anyways, because we seem to have this wine or drink put in different bottles. There's
anyway,
wine or drink.
Anyway, we don't need to allow the system to go worst or to allow it go rotting. No, let them do it the way they want. No, we must keep pushing to ensure that the right thing is done. Of course, the winners of the last general election, they themselves knew. They attest to the fact that they didn't win. We don't, except we want, that's why, since you want us to go into that debate, it's a different ball game. They knew themselves they knew, the winners knew themselves that they didn't win. So let's not, but the systemic rot that has completely eaten deep into this nation, Edo State or whichever state in this country, that is why I said the good men don't need to go and sleep because, oh, it has happened, it won't work again. It will work. Of course, the people themselves know where they are going and they know what they want. That was what you saw in the last general election when the people expressed their express what they want through their voting. But the institutional rot corrupted it and turned it upside down.
Okay, let's come to Edo State.
Now,
let's come to Edo State.
Okay,
let's look at
yes.
what is on the ground. And of course, we have different political parties coming with throwing up, aspirants that will basically become just one flag bearer for the party. And the essence is to make sure that the one person that becomes the flag bearer is one person with pedigree. Now, we have what it has been on, the governance in Edo State, and the achievements, and of course the criticisms, about Governor Godwin Obaseki's administration. What makes you think or know that your standard flag bearer will be that of pedigree among the aspirants you have?
Of course, even the platform itself has the pedigree. And so it's going to bring up an aspirant that is credible, capable, and has all what it takes to deliver on good governance.
What makes you feel the platform has pedigree? Are you looking at the glory of riding on the back of the previous presidential candidate of your party?
What makes the people now fed up with the other platforms? The thing that made those people, the general public, fed up with the other platforms, it's what gives us the pedigree.
Are they getting restoration from your those who won on the platform of Labour Party in the House of Rep and of course other clients? Are they getting restoration from that will make you feel that they will basically tune to the direction of the Labour Party?
The evidences are everywhere for now. The only reps or legislators that are working or that are touching the life of their people through constructive legislations are the Labour Party members. The one in the House of Assembly, the two in the Rep, and the Senate. So there's no argument about that. So that is the reason we as a party, the Labour Party is going to ensure that the man that is going to take our flag, the mantle of the leadership to Osadebe Avenue, is a man of faith. That's devoid of godfatherism. Of course, it has started in those other parties. The argument has started. Who will be, will not be. You can't find that in Labour Party. Labour Party is going to ensure the people themselves drive the process. There is no super delegate, no statutory one, no almighty delegate. The ordinary people, they know themselves, they know the community you came from, they know your word, they know what you can do, what you cannot do. So they are the people to go and select who will become the flag bearer. So thank God my friend from
Texas
okay, said that Edo State cannot go through this circle of bad governance again. He alluded to the fact that.
Well, okay, let's get back to you, Ahmed Momodu. You heard what Samuel Orokpa said, because it's one thing to contest an election. It's another to have the election being won by candidates. And though we are not looking at the presidential election anymore, I think that is done and dusted. Now, do you see what the party, is galvanizing towards in Edo State as a threat to the APC in Edo State?
What you mean, the Labour Party?
Yes, of course, the Labour Party.
Oh yes, the Labour Party has shown itself to be potent and worthy adversary to both the PDP and the APC, permit me to speak on behalf of the PDP, because the results show for themselves. If I'm not mistaken, they have a sitting senator and 2 members of the House of Representatives. When you want to talk politics, you talk about what you have been able to do, what you've been able to prove. And the Labour Party has proven itself to be very adept at showing the Edo people a third option. And if you want to be comfortable enough to call it that. So if we look at it as just real politics, this is the real politics in Edo State currently. Edo South is predominantly Labour. Edo Central is predominantly PDP, and Edo North is predominantly APC. So now we have all of these parties bringing their forces to try and come and marshal and fight for the center. In all of this, I hope the primary objective of all these participants is to bring the best governance, the best person out to lead the people of Edo State, be it APC, be PDP, or Labour Party. I think we've come to the point where the people of Edo State are yearning for good governance. They are yearning to feel the impact of democracy. Let me quickly say this. My co-panelist was saying something about godfatherism. There's a misconception that godfatherism is a negative thing. Unfortunately, the Constitution does not allow for independent candidates. Now, what does this mean? Every party, every candidate must be sponsored by a party. If we dig down further, what does that mean? There's nobody that is in control of any party structure. You come and you take their flag and you go out and you represent it. But what does that mean? It means that there will always be godfathers, whether we like it or not. That is the fact of political life. It may not be somebody you like, He may be nice, he may be kind, he may be greedy, but whatever the case is, there will always be those principalities and factors that you come and meet in a political party, because you cannot do everything by yourself. Now, let us understand that godfatherism itself is not bad. It is the application that is the issue. When you have these people standing behind you, trying to tell you how to run government, trying to tell you to give them money, etc., that is the problem. But if they are there as a moral force, they can also be there as a guiding force and say, look, the people that put you here, they will remind you that this is what you promised them, this is what you promised to do, this is how you promised you would do it. That is also positive. So let's not keep harping on about this godfatherism or not. It's a fact of political life. No matter where you are, there will always be some kind of godfather or the other.
Okay, let's look at what the country is going through at present, because I believe that whatever we're going through as a nation has a way of course, resonating in states, and of course in the elections that will be taking place in states. The APC government at the center is being criticized over the sufferings of Nigerians. And again, we even saw it on the pages of the newspaper where the Emir of Kano was saying to the president's wife to tell the president that Nigerians are hungry. Do you see the hope of the All Progressives Congress even clinching the position of becoming the governor of Edo State, looking at the challenges that we are facing from the APC government at the center?
So, Philip, you've covered politics for a long time. I don't need to tell you, all politics is local. We are talking about national elections. Now we are talking about local elections. What does this mean in real terms? What this means is that if the party is able to bring a candidate that is popular, regardless of what is happening at the national level, the local people are going to be able to identify with them, because that is the person that they see, that's the person that they can feel, and that's the person that they can touch. If such a person comes out in the APC, I hope it does, all well and good. If it comes out in the PDP or in the LP, whichever it is that is going to bring support to the people of Edo State, that is the fact of a local election.
There's an argument Ahmed, that even the, in quotes, as alleged anointed candidates of the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshobole, seem not to have a pedigree, has been peddled by other potential aspirants that may also be clinching the position of standard bearers in other political parties. Now, don't you see that if that turns out for the APC in the state, where the candidate that may be emerging may not be that popular as compared to other candidates or political parties. Don't you think that could smell doom for the party?
So, Philip, you are going to have to help me out because I don't know who you are alleging is alleged to be the alleged candidate of the Senator Shomole. Because there are 4 people, like I mentioned. If you could specify and say, okay, this is, I know there's an alleged candidate for Governor Godwin Obaseki, who they say is Asue Ighodalo. They also allege that Governor Obaseki is sponsoring the Labour Party candidate. And they are alleging that Oshomole is sponsoring one of the APC candidates. To be honest and frank with you, I don't know who that person is. But like I said, candidly, and this is my advice to all of my leaders in the APC, they should create a level playing field and allow whoever is the most popular of the candidates to come out and carry the flag of the party. Anything short than that is going to be terrible, is going to lead to acrimony, and we've seen how that happens. We cannot allow the mismanagement that has been the story of Edo State for the last 8 years to continue. Somebody else needs to come in and show the people that there is a different way that things can be done. I hope that will be the APC. But if the APC makes the mistake of going into this elections as a divided house with an anointed candidate that is not popular, well, then they've taken a win and lost it for themselves.
Thank you very much, Ahmed Mamadou, for taking our time to be part of this conversation. Let's quickly come to you, as we call it, Arab. Now, we know that at the point your party changed the date of primaries from February 22 to 23, and we don't know if that will still hold as stipulated. Now, let's look at what you are bringing to the table in terms of a different political party that is coming with a different style, to bring stability to the political terrain in Edo State. What's your drive?
Yeah, thank you. As for the date for the primary, is on the 23rd, as been arranged and stipulated by the National Working Committee. Still stand, the 23rd still stands. The party is definitely repositioning itself and ensuring that it gets it right without any crisis, as you can see. Because the states...
Can you say you have a faction in the party at the state chapter?
There's no faction in the party.
Okay, but you understand that there are also some of your aspirants that are having discordant tones.
I'm not aware. Our aspirants, there's no any aspirant on our platform that is any discordant tone, except...
Maybe you've not been listening to the news.
No, except, I told you, except intending aspirants who wanted to use the platform, who were endorsing the ambition to use the platform, or maybe for one reason or the other, they found out that they could not go through it again, and so they have to, whichever way, find where they can be best fitted into. But of course, for whatever reason that will make any aspirant in our platform to dump the platform, we have not done primary, that the primary was skewed against you or whatever, of what basis? And okay. the person is giving an excuse. So that's why I said you cannot count on that.
All right.
And so the process is going to be free, fair, and credible, and the best will emerge.
Of course, for us to have a healthy democracy.
Yes.
Internal democracy at that level is expected.
In fact, the best, the leadership of the party is putting in place by the state chairman, Comrade Kelly Ogbala, the national chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, and all organs in the party are geared towards doing the right thing.
Thank you.
But I must tell you, the idea that some people are having disconduct tone, let's disabuse it. There's nothing like that.
All right, you've articulated it.
Some persons,
let's get to watch as the processes unfold. Big thanks, Samson Oropa. Samson Oropa is the Publicity Secretary, Labour Party, Edo State Chapter. And of course, big thanks again to you, Ahmed Mamadou. I had to rob you of your sleep for some hours for you to be up at this time. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in our future editions of TMI. All right, people, that's the much we can take on this segment, and we'll continue to interrogate the process to make sure that we deepen practice in terms of deepening democracy, most especially as it pertains to the Edo gubernatorial race.